Yeah, obviously, a lot of new faces in there. A lot of guys getting first-time experience with us. Obviously, we got some transfers in there with Keon and Damani. Then you got some younger guys like Red Morgan and Zabian Brown and Bakwe and Mincy. So you're seeing all these young guys, and it's really trying to continue to build off the good moments that we're having, and then just learn from the teachable moments and try to find ways to continue to get better.
What have you seen from Deshaun Jones? Got a little bit of a heavier workload in week 2 versus week 1.
Yeah, he's a guy that's going in and showing that he can do his job and do it consistently and execute the defense in the nature that we need him to. And if you can take small jobs and handle your business the right way, small jobs can turn into big jobs. So we're going to continue to work guys in, continue to develop our depth and build guys up throughout the week and get a lot of bodies in there and let guys earn their reps through practice and earn their playing time through what they do in the game. But Jones, Deshaun, has actually been a guy that's gone in there and done a good job for us.
Coach, a hard-fought win last weekend, especially in those last 6 minutes. Just walk me through the differences between that game at the beginning into the last 6 minutes of that win against you.
Well, I think you're seeing all over college football right now some of these, I guess you want to call them upsets or maybe surprising wins from teams all over the nation. I think football will teach you anything. If it's taught me anything over the last 18 years is anybody can beat anybody, you better get yourself ready to go. And probably the number one thing that you always remind yourself of is that winning is and always will be hard. So because you know winning is hard, you got to continue to respect the process and everything that goes into winning. And then when the football hits the ball, it's about performance in the moment. It's about executing the call. It's about doing your job. It's about making plays and stacking one play on top of another play. So winning's difficult. Winning's hard, and we don't take any of those wins for granted. We're definitely fortunate and glad that we were able to pull the game out. And then you can learn things through the process of what happened throughout the game. There's stats, and then there's the actual story of what actually happened throughout the game. What can we learn from this game that we can use moving forward to help us wiser, help us be better moving forward? Obviously, now we got a road game coming up and all the challenges of us going on the road.
And talking about the road game, Wisconsin, it's a hard place to play, but what are you excited about just to see from the defense and traveling over there?
To continue to take steps and to continue to form into that identity of who we believe we can ultimately be. We're trying to close that gap between where we are and where we actually want to go. Nothing happens all of a sudden. It's through work over time, through staying committed through the process, by taking the right necessary steps, by looking at the truth and good and bad or indifferent and recognizing what those things are so we can build on the good and learn from the mistakes. And we're looking forward to all the things that come out of traveling and the mental focus that you have, the discipline to do your job, the toughness you have to show to go on the road, to execute, that back against the wall mentality when it's just you and your fans against a big opponent on the road and all those things that come along with that. So we know it's certainly going to be a challenge in all aspects of the game. Everyone's got to, get our mind focused and travel well and get ready to go play a hard-fought game on the road.
And preparing for that hard-fought game, how's practice look like this week in preparation?
Yeah, I think the guys are energized. The energy in our team is really good. I think, you look at the guys in the secondary, you have experienced guys. Damani's an older guy. Malachi Moore, Keon Sabb, those are older guys. Maybe they've played at other places, but they still have experience of what it takes to go on the road, what it takes to prepare through the week, the consistency that it demands to really be a good football player. And it's hard to be good. It's hard to be great, So what do I have to do on a week in and week out basis? Can I just commit myself to doing things a certain way, the same way over long periods of time, regardless, and detached from an actual result? So we have great leadership with the older guys that we have. The young guys are learning, but you're seeing an energized team. I feel like the energy's been good, and guys have been doing a really good job.
A fun thing about traveling is being able to have that team bonding time. How are you excited about that, being able to be with the guys in a different state, just the team building side of that?
Yeah, I think anytime you pack up the bags and you go on the road and you look at it, you look to your left and look to your right, and it's your guys, and it's just you. There's no one else. We're not going to have all our fans here back home here in Tuscaloosa. They're going to be cheering for us. We'll be able to bring a group, but we know the mentality that you have to have when you travel. This is big time football. This is a high level college football, and we know that you have to have a certain demeanor and a certain way that you got to approach these games. So nobody's going to give us anything. No one owes us anything. We know we got to continue to grind our way to the top, and we're looking forward to all the things that come in terms of having to travel, go on the road, and what it's going to take to go battle on the road.
Looking at Wisconsin stylistically, how do they maybe differ or similar to your first two opponents, and how are they going to affect your defense?
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. I mean, they have a lot of layers to what they do. A heavy volume in the run game. They have a vertical throw game. They'll stretch you horizontally. I think they do a phenomenal job of spreading the ball around. They got good spacing concepts, vertical concepts. They run zone and gap scheme. They can tempo when you want them to tempo. They have experienced players. You look at their wide receiver group, older group of guys, seasoned guys that have played a lot of football, returning starters. Backs can run downhill, experienced coaching staff, and you're looking at them going into year 2 of their coaching staff. So you have a lot of continuity, a lot of same as. So I think obviously all those things present their own challenges. Different style of offense probably last week in what we saw South Florida, but they can do it all. They present empty, five open empty, 4 open empty. They 2x2, 3x1 condensed sets. So they're going to test rules. They're going to test our ability to execute on a down in and down out basis. So we know we're going to have to do our job and do it consistently well.
You've worked with several young guys, breaking them into their college kind of first season. How have you seen Xavier Brown progress over these first 2 games?
Yeah, really excited and proud of what the work that he's done. He's nowhere near the player we think he's going to ultimately be. So what we're always assessing, hey, okay, where are you at? Where do we ultimately want you to go, and how are we going to close that gap to help you get there? That takes number one, I think, a honest and real relationship, so we can have truthful conversations, and we know that the conversations that we have are for the sole purpose of making you the best that you can be. And then it takes action. Then we got to go put the work in. So we're being really critical on ourselves. We're being really critical on the details of our work. You're asking, I think Xavier played 60 snaps last week as a true freshman corner and held his own out there and did a pretty good job. So we know that he's conscientious. He works hard. He's earning the right to go out there and play football for us and get the reps that he has. And then ultimately, when you're out there, it's about playing to the standard of the play, and it's ultimately about executing at a high level. So we want to continue to build our depth all the way through Jalen Mbakwe, Deshaun Jones, Zay Mincy, continue to roll guys in, because we hope and we know we're looking forward to having a long season. And so we're going to have guys ready to roll in and roll out on a down in and down out basis. So Xavier's one of the guys. So he's doing a good job for us. We got to continue to work, continue to try to find ways to get better.
Now that you're a couple games in, where do you want to be from a rotation standpoint with some of those?
What I would say is there's not when you go through the week, if you think about a game, there's maybe 70 snaps. If you got 2 corners out there, you're talking about 140 snaps. So we'll build a little bit of a plan as the week develops. Hey, we think, hey, Damani, you're going to probably be around 40 to 50. Maybe this guy's going to be around 20. But I let a little bit of the practice, what occurs in practice kind of determines who kind of fills those roles in. And it keeps an urgency that I know that when I'm out there in practice, we are watching everything. We're trying to really be critical and assess who is really getting it done. I think we're building depth right now. I think we have talent in the room. But when we kind of build a game plan out to go play a certain opponent, we're assessing what happens in practice to kind of transition that into reps into the game.
What's it been working with Coach Hitchler his first year in the program, helping out with the DBs with him?
Yeah, I think Hitchler is experienced. He's a great coach. Obviously, he was at Wisconsin, co-defensive coordinator, has a ton of football knowledge. I think if you look at our room, we got a little bit of everything. Freddie was here on staff. He has that experience of being a guy that's been here before. You look at Coach Womack, and he's a former head coach, former defensive coordinator at Power 5 level, tying everything and bringing everything in together. Christian Robinson, very knowledgeable coach, extremely knowledgeable, very smart football coach, and really does a great job coaching his guys. And then, like you mentioned with Kalen, coming over, being a co-DC at Wisconsin, coming over here and kind of putting all our heads together and try to find out how can we come together and put the best product together on the football field. We got QCs and GAs that do a phenomenal job. I think it takes trust, it takes communication, it takes honest conversations, and then Coach Womack is leading the whole thing in terms of directing the entire process and what we ultimately are going to look to become over time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks a lot, guys.